Hey guys, welcome back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and this is a music business podcast dedicated towards helping you stay legally protected and make six figures and beyond annually. So, as you guys are filing in, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's having a fabulous week. Let's see. I have a couple of things. My first thing I'm kind of excited about is today is the anniversary of the channel. So I looked on the calendar. Okay, it's not really today. It's like in 2 days. I'm gonna be honest, but today's the day to talk about it. But the anniversary is coming up in 2 days, and I don't know. It's kind of cool. So we started the channel in 2020. Okay, so amidst the chaos of 2020 for all of us, we decided to start this channel and just to really dedicate time because I had been doing kind of some of these videos on my Miss Krystle YouTube channel. And just because, I've been an entertainment attorney for 9 years now, and I have a particular focus and love in the music business. I want to help you guys, and I just want to have a source, and I've always wanted to have a source that you can go to that is free and you can get the help of an entertainment attorney and all the things. So anyway, if I can get some hoorahs via emoji in the chat, feel free to drop those. Hello, hello. As you're checking in, you know the drill. Where are you checking in from and what time is it? It's our anniversary. That's right. So yeah, we're looking at what is that? 3 years. Very exciting. 3 years. I appreciate all of you who have continued on the journey. Dustin, I appreciate you. There you go. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is, as you're checking in, feel free to drop your questions in the comments. Whatever you need, whatever's going on with your music career, your business. I am here live specifically because I can answer these questions for you every single week. So, in any case, we have a great show for you today. We'll be talking about some things going on in entertainment in general, but then I also have a couple things I'm gonna jump into, and we'll bring in that Orko, but I'm gonna talk to you about 10 ways of how you're actually sabotaging your music career. Okay, there's 10. So this is jam-packed just for you. And I'm also going to talk about my 5 game-changing tips to help you establish your brand identity. And, the whole conversation about brand identity and music marketing is always ongoing. It's absolutely the backbone, or it should be the backbone, of everything that you are doing. Because, we want to get our stuff out there, right? We want people to listen to our music. We want them to buy our things. And, so rather than going through a label, going through a PR company, going through everyone, let's just go directly to the people who are going to love your music, love what you're doing, come to your shows, and it's going to be fantastic. So be sure to come over to YouTube if you are not on the platform. I know we're broadcasting all the places right now. And wherever you're watching, I love you just for being here, so you're fine. But if you do want to come over, join the community on Top Music Attorney on YouTube. I'm going to run the intro. I'll be right back, and we'll get to your questions. Hi guys, I'm Top Music Attorney Miss Krystle. I'm an entertainment attorney, public speaker, and creator of the Top Music Attorney School for artists and record labels. I'm the owner of Dukes Up Records, and most importantly, I'm an independent artist. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss my weekly videos giving you my best tips on the music business, industry news updates, and teaching you how to stay legally protected. Let's go. Chris is checking in England for once, not Wales tonight, 1 a.m. I really appreciate those of you who are on other ends of the world and are still checking in. Hello on LinkedIn, 8 p.m. Christopher A, good to see you here. I guess we're just gonna have this overlay of letting you know about the YouTube and coming over here. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. All right, so that Orko says to hit the like. Thank you very much. Whoever you're watching, please do so. Tricky's checking in from the Netherlands. It's 2 a.m. And thank you very much. We are celebrating for sure. And you know what? I feel bad. I feel like I should have had some special celebratory hat or a little cupcake. I've officially gone off of sugar, so that probably wouldn't go very well. I'd probably go comatose on the live stream. But anyway, very excited to see you guys here. So, Chris has a question. Do you have to register your company in every state you want to work, operate in? You can live outside the state you register the company in. And that's a really great question. And it just really depends, right? So, this came up the other day because I work with a lot of filmmakers. And so as we're discussing things like where to register the LLC, it wouldn't really make sense practically if you're having to go and register your company in every single state, because technically, right, doesn't the internet reach all the states and all the countries and all the places? The answer is yes. So if that's the case, that would be quite the burden on the average business owner. So no, where you want to register is going to be typically where you live. Now, the super pro tip on this is there are benefits to registering in certain states. For example, if you register your LLC in California, you're gonna have an annual fee. I think it's $800, a little over $800, just to exist in California. Okay, so if you are a very small business and you don't have a lot of money coming in, that's gonna be a big ouchie, and it is required annually. Versus if you register in a state like Arizona. Arizona, you have a one-time setup fee. It's like $50, and there's no annual fee after that. So, it's more advantageous to register in certain states. But to answer your question, there are points where you might want to register in another state because you're doing so much business there, right? So if it's brick and mortar, right? So you have an actual physical location, and you're, let's say in Delaware, and now you're registering in a different state and actually opening the business and doing all the things. In that situation, you probably would want to set up shop and actually register in that state. Hey, what's up? Very nice. Okay. Yeah. So Chris says, starting music group to help other artists. Love that. Should I get an LLC since I'm starting out, or should I wait? So Chris, where are you based? And I would say that if you are doing anything in the music business, it's just really smart to start an LLC for yourself. And it's because a limited liability company limits your liability. So think of it as, there's a little liability shield around you. And so when you are contracting, right, so you're signing contracts and you're doing different things on behalf of your company, your LLC. If something happens, the LLC is the one that, for example, gets sued, is the one that runs into the problems. And so it just protects you individually, right? It protects your personal assets, your car, your house, all the things. All right, you're in Texas? Yeah, so, and I'll even say this, because I'm all about, the people that I work with and mentor. If you're an artist, if you're starting your own music business, like you really want to have an LLC. It's the first step. And it's something that we do even if you don't necessarily have money coming in, right? And so you might think it's premature, but my thought on this is always just do the admin stuff right away. Just get it out of the way, and now your LLC is set up, you're ready to rock and roll, and you should actually use it. So for example, on your music group, right? So if you're working with artists, you probably should have some kind of agreement with them or terms of use, on your website or something like that, and you should be using the LLC once you get it set up. All right, well, no, as you guys are rolling in at any time, let us know where you checking in from and what time is it. All right, so one other thing before we jump into all the other things, I'm excited because as you know, I'm an independent artist. I do all the things as well besides lawyering, and we actually shot a music video on, when did we shoot it? Friday. And this was fun because, it was a little bit last minute. It was a little bit, I had the concept. We've been working on it. We scouted some locations. We adapted the concept. But generally, kind of what I was after came to fruition. So I'm going to give you a couple of the quick hits on, when it comes to producing, when it comes to running the video and, directing as well. So I'm always going to be a creative director. on all of my projects. And because I have the concepts, the vision, I typically write my treatments, and then I just find the team to help execute on the idea that I have. And we haven't announced this yet, but I'll at least tell you we are doing my next EP, but it's very concept driven. And so, the it's going to be cover songs, all of which you guys know, and I think you'll be pretty excited about, but I'm adapting them. So there's cinematic dark pop versions of these really popular songs, which means I've basically taken the songs, I've transposed them into minor keys so they sound a little bit mysterious, maybe a little creepy, a little sinister. And then with the visual, basically trying to have it mirror what's happening with the music. So I haven't announced this yet, but I'll at least tell you guys right now. So as of yesterday, I officially have the song up for distribution, and I haven't promoted it anywhere, but it'll be coming out at the end of June, and then we'll have the music video. And so the shoot went great. I think it ended up being about like 9 hours, and we had a bunch of looks. I had my team there, and it was a great opportunity to make content. And so we'll be talking a little bit about the brand, identity and marketing. But, when you're actually doing something that's halfway interesting, right? Just because we don't all shoot music videos every single day, it's really important to document what's happening, right? Hey, I'm on set, I'm doing this thing, here's what's going on. You interview the team. And so we did a lot of that. It was, a long, fun, magical day. So anyway, I thought I would just share that. That Orko says, if you are new to the show, make sure you join our community. That's right. Don't forget to hit the bell. All right. So I'll tell you what, let's get into some things. Before I bring in that Orko, I want to give you guys a rundown because there's a lot in what I'm about to go through with you. So these are going to be all of my ways how I've seen that music artists and producers are basically sabotaging themselves, right? Myself included. I've been doing this for a while. Basically, I've been in the music business since I was like 4. So I've done all these things. I've not done all these things. And I'm here to give you a concise summary. So let's do a quick check. Mr. Producer, we good? We sounding good? We looking good? All right. Perfect. Well, let's rock and roll. Oh, and then I'll also just say, for anything music related on my end, you can listen to any of my stuff on Miss Krystle, just by searching it on any music platform. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Producer. So just search Miss Krystle, and you'll see what I do is dark pop. And so I have a tendency, not just with my original music, to be in the dark pop lane, but the cover songs that I do, I adapt them when applicable to make them dark pop. So in any case, let's rock and roll. There are 10 ways that I have seen that music producers, artists, anyone that is a creative in the music business space, that you're doing and neglecting, which is basically sabotaging your music career. All right. But these are the game changers that if you make these small adjustments, that will help to get your career on track so you can actually get to the next level. So before we start, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe here on Top Music Attorney YouTube. I'm releasing videos every single week to help you with your music career. All right, so number 1, building a very strong online presence, aka your business card. We're going to hit this super fast because when it comes to what is the impression that someone's going to have of you, they're typically not going to meet you in person. So we have to remember that in the digital age, people are going to first and foremost go to your Instagram, go to your TikTok. And so if you aren't paying attention to what it looks like, if you don't have, let's say, a simple landing page for a website, or your website is incredibly out of date, that is not going to fare well for you. This includes for your new fans. If someone discovers you and they hear your song and they go to follow you or to see, should I follow this person, right? Is there stuff interesting? What you have on those platforms really matters. So please make sure after you watch this video that you just take a minute to go and look at each of your platforms and please make updates, okay? If you need to post something, it's time to post. Number 2, networking and building relationships. Now, what I want to just note about this is the importance of introducing yourself. Most of us are not social butterflies. Most of us have social anxiety. And even if that's not the case for you, some of us just don't even want to be around other people. But when it comes to being in the music business and having leverage through relationships to get yourself to the next level, to get homie hookups, to get some discounts, all those things are relationship based. So you want to obviously make friends and align yourself with people that are doing things similar to what you're doing, but also aim high. So you want to make sure you surround yourself with the types of people who are going to help to lift you up and inspire you, right? If you're not hanging around people that kind of, symbolize and do the things that you're trying to do, then you're going to stay in the same place. And so what you can do if you're like, okay, well, great. How can I go and meet someone who's making six figures in their music career and crushing it on social media? Well, the lead that I always like to use is, well, what value can you bring? Okay, so what can you do in exchange for basically making friends? If you provide a lot of value upfront for someone, and then, you really should just not expect anything in return, because if you don't get it and you were expecting it, then you're not going to want to do it again. But this has to be just force of habit, that you just give a lot of value to people, because people are going to be like, wow, this person did this thing for me. That was amazing. And a lot of people are reciprocal. So if you do something for them, they'll want to do something for you. But really what we're saying is make friends. All right. Number 3, when it comes to these neglected strategies that are ruining people's music careers, you have to create compelling visual content. All right. So it's not just, I need you to make content and post and do it every day, all day. That's a different conversation. Okay. What I'm talking about is the stuff you do release. If you're posting once or twice a month, if that's your gig, cool. Because again, if someone's going to look at your feed on one of your social media profiles, it doesn't matter when you posted it. That's the stuff they're going to look at. So when they're looking at the stuff, let's have something that's really visually compelling with your cover art, with your music videos, or even if you're just shooting content yourself, right? Maybe you're not doing a lot of productions, but really try to see how you can up the ante a little bit so that your online presence has the same kind of feel and vibe, A, of the music that you have, but then B, of the type of audience you're trying to connect with, right? So if you're like, I love goth kids, those are the ones that, listen to my music. And so, maybe posting something that is super saturated and colored and bubbly and all the stuff isn't really going to connect with the audience you're trying to reach. So be compelling, all right? Number 4, you want to develop a very strong strategic marketing plan. Okay, so it's not just, I have a song coming up, I really should promote it. That's great, right? So someone I'm mentoring, he had a song drop, amazing, and I was just checking his social media a few days after the song came out, and he had posted maybe once or twice about it, and it wasn't really compelling, wasn't really representing, and the song was fantastic. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't stand in your own way by not promoting something. And a part of that just comes with, if you don't have a plan, life gets in the way. So guess what? It's Friday, the song's coming out, but you have work. And then you have a family thing afterwards. And then, you didn't get to the gym and you're really stressed out. And then the next day, you're not really feeling it. It's Saturday. So do you see what I'm saying? It's just a domino effect and you'll just literally get in your own way. But if you had a marketing plan, whatever it is, hey, I'm going to, post a couple of times, I'm going to have some kind of consistency, you will thank yourself very, very much. All right. So we're going to stop sabotaging ourselves and we're going to move on now to number 5, which is we're going to embrace music education. All right. So when I use the word education, I don't get a super great feeling. I'm not like, yes, let's educate ourselves. So let's use different terminology. We're going to say we're going to learn the music business, because when we learn the music business, we learn the rules of the road. We learn the rules of the game. We learn how to make money. We learn how to make ourselves successes, to connect with audiences, and to make really our dreams come true. Okay? So when we say we're going to embrace music education, it's just what's missing in your knowledge about how the music business works. And the people who take a little bit of time to go through a course, right? Go through a course, go to one of those workshops, get private lessons, seek a mentor. You can pay for a consultation, right? With an attorney. There's all kinds of things that you can do to try to start bridging that gap with your knowledge. Because in my opinion, I think everything that you need to know, you could learn in 4 hours. But it takes most people 10 to 20 years to learn that information and to take those 4 hours. Let that sink in, okay? So don't let that be you. If you take the time, you plant the seeds, now it's just going to grow and you're going to start strategizing. Moving on, number 6, you need to make sure to actually get feedback. Make sure the people who are giving you the feedback on your music, on your project, they need to be credible. They need to know what the hell you're doing, right? And to just be like, oh, you do rock music? Well, I do rock music, right? It shouldn't be, oh, you do rock music? Well, I'm a rapper. Like, if it's someone who's not even kind of doing the thing that you're doing, right? You need to kind of have a grain of salt with that. Also, when they were doing the thing is important. If it's someone who did their thing like 30 years ago, they might not be with it these days. So, little grain of salt, but actively get feedback, because that, little criticism for the people who are willing to give it to you, because, your friends typically won't. They won't be honest with you. But take it and know that, there might be a little truth that you can learn something from, apply it, and it could make you better. All right, number 7 of the ways that we're going to stop sabotaging our music careers is that we're going to invest in live performances. Now, a lot of us don't do a ton of live performances. It might not be, something that makes sense. And for some of us, it's all we do, all day, every day. But if you're not the person that does a ton of live performances, think about it, because it's just a way that you can make your fans, who already think you're great, feel super ooey gooey all about you. There's just something so great about seeing each other's eyeballs. They get to meet you, they get to hear you sing or perform or do whatever you're going to do, and they want to buy your merch. It's going to be great. So if you could just try to figure out some way that you're doing a live performance and actually meeting with your fans, love it. Okay. Number 8, we're going to actually utilize the data and information that we have. Okay. Back to social media. There is a ton of information about your audience on every single one of your social media platforms about, for example, on YouTube, how long are people watching your video? When do they drop off? This is all in your analytics. What's your age demographic? Where do your fans live? Are your fans male or female? This is all information that you can get in Instagram. So if you go in and just look at the people who are following you, you're going to get a lot of insights, and data matters, not your feelings. Data. So you're going to take that data, you're going to analyze it, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to thank yourself for doing just that. Number 9, when it comes to ways we're going to stop sabotaging ourselves, we need to make sure that we have a clear, concise goal list, ? So it's not just having, what's your goal? Well, my goal is I want to have a sustainable career, I want to make 6 figures annually, and I don't want to have to ever take another 9 to 5. I love that. That's a big global goal. But what I need from you is I need a daily goal. What are you doing every single day? A weekly goal, a quarterly goal, and an annual goal. So when you start thinking like this, you go, okay, so what do I want to accomplish this quarter? Right? So for the next 3 months, this quarter, I want to have at least 1 EP released, or at least 1, single and a music video. When you start thinking like that, now you're thinking like a music business, you're thinking like a record label. And this is how we start making huge change in our careers, because we're not just going day to day. I don't feel like it today. Oh, I don't feel like it tomorrow. Like, it's not about your feelings. Have a goal and have a bunch of goals based on, again, day, month, annual, quarter, all the things. And when it comes to the ways that we are totally sabotaging our music careers, well, be sure to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to go on to it. But before I do, make sure you just message me on Instagram, on Top Music Attorney, if you are basically in the music business, looking to connect, if you need a community, I got you. Come say hi. So number 10, you need to make sure that you are actively taking care of, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, because this is literally how we're going to biohack ourselves so that we can become monsters in the music business. You're not going to do very well if you are constantly sick. You are not going to be able to invest very well into yourself or your career if you just aren't feeling it and you're feeling super depressed and super anxious. So you got to deal with those monsters to become the monster. You like that? So, you got to take time. So here are the things, right? Exercising, meditating, walking, even walking was kind of tough for me, but like meditation has been a huge struggle for me forever. And I think I realized at one point, I go, that's the problem. The fact that I can't just stop and calm down and calm my mind for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tells me that's really the problem, right? And so it took a lot of time for me to get into these different disciplines. And sometimes I just totally lose it. Sometimes, I forget my tools. I forget to do the things I need to do every day to really have consistent performance. That's what you're looking for. You don't want huge ups and downs. You want to create consistency within your mind, within your body. And that's how you show up every day. And that consistency makes you a fantastic monster in the music business. And I know you guys are going to crush it. So we're talking about the game-changing strategies. I went through 10 of how you're going to stop sabotaging yourself. But obviously this takes dedication, perseverance, a willingness. So anyway, tell me what you're doing. Message me on Top Music Attorney on Instagram, and thanks for watching. All right, let me go back to the chitty chat. How we doing? How we doing? I feel like I was talking for a while. By the time I get to shows on Thursday, it's usually by Wednesday night. By Wednesday night, I always feel it in my vocal cords. And this is something like as a singer, as a talker that I've been working on, because I get a lot of tension, and it's because I'm not like using my tongue properly. It's all this thing. I've done research and classes and met with the experts. So it's an ongoing thing, but it's also just because I sing on Monday and Tuesdays. I'm talking every single day for my job. And then I get to the show, and this is always like, I'm feeling it. We're already a little tight. And then I'll go on these rants and give you like, a million tips. And I'm, pretty much losing my voice by the time we're having the show. So P.S. I love you guys. I'm trying to help you out. With that all being said, I'm going to bring in that Orko here in just a sec. Let me go back to the chat and see what's going on. I promise I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just honestly, I've been doing this for 3 years now, 3+ years, and it's a thing, because I have like this big screen right here, and it has like my notes, but I don't, it's like an outline. I'm not reading anything, and then there's giant lights, and it's just a lot. So I try to look at the chat, but oh, my accent! Stop it! Thank you very much. My mom is from New Zealand, and my mom has a beautiful accent. She's been in the United States since she was 16. She became an American, I think she was 18. But anyway, so she still has a very strong accent. So whatever it is, thank you. I was homeschooled, so in the beginning, I think I had picked up her accent. So I actually had her accent for a hot minute. And then when I, started college and doing all that stuff, it just all went away. Ashley says, yeah, Ashley hangs out every week, and I appreciate that. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Happy anniversary. Yes. 3 years. If you guys missed that, for anyone rolling in, we are celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the Top Music Attorney YouTube channel. Frank has a question. I wanted to ask, I've been selling my band's merch, but some of the designs of the shirts lend themselves to be their own brand. Okay. Should I start a separate LLC for that as a new brand? Thanks again. So Frank, my suggestion, do whatever you want, but my suggestion would be if you just have kind of a, like a separate line almost, right, with the clothing, just keep it under the same housing. Right? I think at some point that you really develop something, and it's a full separate line, and it's its own separate business. That's when I would start an LLC, probably not before, which is unusual for me to say, right? So I use filmmakers as an example. Often we start a new LLC for every film project that we do. And that's because we want to limit the liability to each of the productions. But in your instance, it sounds like it's more of, a house, a general umbrella, and you're producing a lot of different designs. But at which point, I think that you do have really a separate company via the separate brand. That'd be a good time to do it. Thank you, Chris. And for those of you who are checking in a little later, what's up, Ernesto? Be sure to let me know where you're checking in from and What time is it? Oh, thank you. You know what? I've been considering changing the name. I am no longer top music attorney or Miss Krystle. I am Queen. Thank you very much. And you copyright a song with a lease beat? Ah, great question. I love this. So when you lease a beat, right, or license to use a beat, that means you don't own it. The person who owns the song is the one that should be copywriting. Now, caveat. If you are creating something totally new in conjunction with the beat, which you probably are, right? We typically will license or lease an instrumental because we're going to put a top line on it, right? We're going to rap on it, we're going to sing on it. So there's going to be something new. You can register that for copyright protection, but you don't own the actual instrumental or the beat. So the way that it works is that you only have a claim to the new things that you added onto the song. So long-winded way of saying, yes, you can. And you could even do this for things like cover songs, right? So if you cover one of my songs, Miss Krystle owns the song because I created it. It's my words, it's my chords, it's my lyrics, but you did a new version. I don't own the new stuff that you did. So when you register, you just have to make sure that you kind of disclaim what parts you don't own, but you can register it and have ownership, copyright ownership in the stuff that you did. Great question. You guys are funny in the comments. Thank you very much. Yes, for those of you who have ever seen my mom, met my mom, I featured her recently because I had my song "Something in the Way," and so I have a cursey word in my song, and so I had her react when we were in the car because she's my mother and she doesn't want to hear any of that, but she's a very good sport. So anyway, you got to hear a little bit from her then. Okay, with all that being said, let's move on. I'm gonna bring that Orko in. Here we go.
Hey, shout out to the community. Thank you guys so much for being here every week with us. Join the community if you haven't over at Top Music Attorney YouTube. That's where we are broadcasting from. We are shooting you out right now to what do we got? Facebook, we got LinkedIn. We are all over. So wherever you're watching from, make sure you come over to the YouTube. That's where we really want you to watch it from. But yeah, how's it going, Miss Krystle, right?
Look at
Right.
that. You guys are cute when you give him love. I appreciate that. There was a follow-up. So as far as the masters, so do you own your masters if you lease a beat with a BeatStar contract? Read the contract, okay? Because it actually they have you consent to it before you purchase, okay? So you should absolutely read it in most cases, including with BeatStar. You don't own it. And it
Yeah.
specifically says you don't own it. And in fact, it usually says, hey, by the way, there's certain ways you're not allowed to use this, which is where they get you. Because then you have to go and renew in like 10 or 15 years and pay more fees.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Pro tip on that BeatStars thing. Listen, if you're an artist and you are liking the beats that you're hearing, like kind of use BeatStars and stuff, it's just kind of like a research thing. Find the producer that you like his style of beats and just find him on IG or something and just reach out to him directly and see if you can cut a deal, that's not BeatStars. Like just go directly to the guy. Cause I mean, that's just a nice little platform that kind of works in the background for us producers and stuff. So we don't really have to actively, I mean, we do a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's opposed to just going directly to them and hey, like, I like your stuff. Is there any way I can get something going?
yeah. And in my experience, a lot of the producers, they'll be willing to do it. Obviously, they can't undo the
Right.
other licenses that they've
That's what I'm
already
saying. Get a
given
fresh
out.
beat, get a fresh beat from the
Well,
producer. That's what I
but
mean.
yeah, but some people fall in love with the beat, so I understand that. So if that's the case for you, you can just approach the producer. I think that's a great recommendation. But just know the other people who have licensed it already, they'll
Yeah.
continue using it, and you can also buy it and
That's a
just
whole other
say,
conversation in
yeah, but they're
itself.
gonna
Cause
try to get you. They're like,
I
all right,
tell
cool,
you,
you.
that's why I always say, like, just find a producer that you like and just go to them and get something custom. BeatStars is cool, I guess, if you're starting out and you literally do not know anybody, but I would just use it as more of a networking tool as personally as an artist, because unless you're gonna can get the beat, exactly one that you want exclusive, it's kind of pointless. I don't want to be on somebody else has my same beat that's using it. Like for better or for worse, like I don't want it. Think about when people Shazam the song. It's going off the music, kind of content of the song. So it's like if somebody had dropped their song with the same beat, anytime somebody Shazams your song, it might send it to their song. Like get your own original beat for your songs.
We're about to have a whole segment on
It's a whole
BeatStar.
segment. Yeah. But it's cool. It's a
Anyway.
great, but it's a cool platform for producers that are just, trying to get out there and to get their stuff kind of working. And it does work really big. There's been some huge songs that have come from BeatStars, but get it exclusive.
For sure. All right. With that being said, I want to jump into discussing how to create your unique brand. You ready?
Oh, hold on. I thought we were revoicing that order, but let's do that.
Gotta go with the flow. When the boss
Let's
says jump,
jump.
you jump.
We jump. We've already jumped before you got to the P. Hit like
Like who
on
peed? What?
hit like on the stream.
Hit like on the stream. All right, here we go. I would say there are 5 game-changing ways that you can create a unique music brand. All right. Hi, guys. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle. I've been a music attorney for 9 years, and we're going to talk about really unveiling like the most effective techniques to having a super solid brand because it's going to resonate with your fans, because you want to connect with the right audience and you want to build something that is visually fantastic. Okay. So if you find this helpful, please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Number 1. Embrace your authenticity. Now, when your mom said you're fantastic and you're lovable just the way you are, she meant it. It was true, but let's apply it in a real kind of way. So you really are unlike anyone else just because you are you. Okay, that's true. And the way that you can monetize that is by exploiting yourself.
Right.
Don't wait for a label. Don't wait for a manager. Don't wait for anybody else. So what I mean by this is no one is as weird as you. And that's a great thing. So any way that you can really showcase yourself online and your hobbies, your interests, not just your music. This is how you're going to get people to really connect with you and fall in love with you.
Yeah, and not even just your visuals, but even just with your music itself. When we're kind of first starting out, I know that we kind of try to emulate other artists that are, going on in the mainstream. And it's okay to listen to other things and kind of be influenced by stuff, but it's really just important to carve out your own unique version of what it is that you do, not just kind of going with the current trends and trying to chase the trend or chase the wave of something, because by the time you've seen it, it's already almost over by the time your song's going to kind of get out for some of that stuff. So staying authentic to yourself and just your marketing and your music, I think is just incredibly important, because you'll be able to stomach yourself a lot easier and it'll feel better the whole time.
Yeah, and then number 2, I would say, defining your brand identity. Okay, so you have to think about, what are your core values? What's your aesthetic? What is your messaging? And it seems kind of basic, but these are the basic things that people don't do. And so they'll just be posting anything. It will be random. But if you have kind of this consistent thread throughout what you do, I mean, think about who you follow, especially on TikTok, right?
Right.
Think about when you follow a particular channel, it's because there was one type of thing that you really liked. It was entertaining, it was funny, like it was sexy. And so then you follow the channel because you really want just more of that thing. So that's what I'm talking about. I go, really think about your messaging. You as a salesperson, think about what you're putting out there and make sure it's consistent with your authenticity, right? But then also, let's define it a little bit better, right? If you're super into something, make that clear.
For sure. And you brought up a great point about just how, when we search social media, we're looking for kind of that same thing when they find you. And so, a lot of times we'll feel that, oh, I don't want to just do that. I just did something like that. We'll keep doing it. That's what people kind of brought, and you'll kind of see it grow, and you can always try new things. So you're just adding to the content. But also don't use that as an excuse to be locked into things. And I think a lot of times as artists, we use the excuse of, well, I don't really like social media. And a lot of the reasons why we don't like social media is because we're afraid of it. We're afraid of just putting ourselves out there. And so it's easier just to not like it and be one of the cool kids that hangs out, behind the wall, as opposed to, just going out and, playing sports. That was a terrible analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, no, no. I use myself as an example because it's totally true with what I've done. I had to really put myself out there
Yeah.
and showcase, for example, my lawyer side, which I never like to do. But putting myself out there, showing all sides of
Yeah.
myself and, being brave and
That
all
was
the
quite
things.
a process for you too, and, like, you make it look so effortless now, and I'm, not to, just take us off too much, but as we're, even as we're shooting this music video, I'm just always in awe of every time we've shot so many music videos at this point, but I'm just always in awe of just how together and just how easy a lot of this stuff seems like it comes from you. But I do also remember the awkwardness of you trying to get into social media after yourself even being hesitant, and just that journey, and even doing this channel, and it takes practice. And I remember, even your first videos were literally you just sitting there with a terrible camera in front of, like, your window with a light, and, like, it was like some of the worst quality ever, but you just did it. And I
Yeah.
think that that's the important thing. You just got to do it. Pull the trigger.
Well, and that very nicely takes me into the next tip, which is, crafting a very compelling visual identity. Okay, so in how you present yourself, it takes time. And so you have to do volume and you have to give yourself permission to post a lot of stuff and know that, you know what? The majority of what you're going to post is going to suck, meaning it's going to bomb. So you're going to judge it. You're going to say it was terrible. People hate me. You're going to tell yourself all these stories that probably aren't even true, but it's part of the process. And as you are going through this process, you are figuring out what resonates with your audience, right? How does your audience dress? What's the
Yeah.
color palette? What are the fonts you need to use? What's the imagery? I went to a festival recently, and the, general audience that was at this festival was very much in my genre, like, dark pop and pop rock and rock in general. And so I'm looking around and I'm like, these are the people that I'm trying to reach. My brand identity, my visual imagery should really try to mirror that. And I had to do this for myself because I kind of went to my social media recently and I was like, there's a lot of lawyer stuff now on all my music pages. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull this all back. I'm taking it all off. And those are the changes you can make.
Yeah, no, it's a tricky balance, and it's something that you always have to be observant of. Like you were saying, even just with color palettes, even with, you taking a look at your lawyer stuff, you always have to be looking at it in overall objectively. If I was coming to this page, does it look nice? Does it look like it flows? Does it look like it's all over the place? Because sometimes we just try things. We're just like, well, I'm just going to post this even though it doesn't really fit with what I'm doing, just because I need to post something. And that's cool because you want to try stuff. But then the next time you're like, I'm just going to post something. I don't even know what it is. And I don't even care. Like, you're not really trying to find something. You're just posting. So when you look at your page, it just looks random. And, like, everything is just crazy, as opposed to trying to hone in on an idea for a little bit.
Yeah. And I would just say, just remember first, you have to get into the habit of making content and posting. And once you have that, that's when now you can start to refine a little bit. So don't get too overwhelmed. All right. We're talking about the 5 game changing tips on how to establish a really strong brand identity for yourself. So moving
Real
on.
fast on, wait, hold on. Oh, before you move
Now
on,
I'm
just
moving on.
not moving on, just real fast on that, just real fast. And when you go to your look at your page, is it just album art? Is it just visual effects and stuff like that? So make sure that you're actually posting stuff that isn't just album covers, because people want to see more than just advertisements on your page.
All right. Number 4, tell your story. All right. So I was mentoring an artist recently, and part of his whole journey, because we all have stories, we all have things that we can share, but we don't necessarily want to, and that's okay. But for him, it was very much part of his brand. It was on his website talking about this incredible journey that he's been through, emotionally and with his family and friends. And because he's really embraced that story, I go, that should be very clear in your messaging, right? So
Mm.
let's not just have lots of music and just basically promoting all day long. I go, like, just talk to the camera, tell a little story, like, connect with people because you A, are willing to do it, and B, people like it.
Yeah, no, they always want to hear just a little bit of more about you that they can connect with. So just make sure that you're doing it. It's just so important to do that. And it doesn't mean telling your life story. It doesn't mean telling about everything horrible about your life, like, although that is a route that people like to go sometimes. It's just about actually positivity is usually the best way, but not being phony about it, but just being honest. And everything is just about just being as honest as you can with yourself and your content. So you'll be more excited, it'll feel better, and it'll be more of a genuine connection with your audience.
I absolutely agree with that. Don't forget to like this video if you are finding it helpful. Be sure to subscribe. We release videos every week to help you with your music career, which brings me to number 5. Engage and collaborate with your audience. Okay, so I really can't stress this enough. You have to make sure you are dedicating time to actually responding to your fans, right?
Yeah.
So not just responding, which will make them feel ooey gooey, and you know what I'm saying? Like just that you care, especially if someone's gonna give you a substantive comment and they're like, hey, I listened to your song. It's great. I like your guitar. Like, if they're going to take time to listen and then leave a comment, which actually is a lot of effort,
Yeah.
please respond, okay? But obviously, there's other things that you can do, right? You can have a newsletter. And so you cultivate your community. You have a Facebook group. And so just, again, staying, in contact with them. And by doing that, it really builds that connection long term.
Yeah, do more live streams, go live on your IGs or your TikTok. They want to see you, they want to be able to talk to you. Ask them, I know that you do a lot of which album art do you like, for the cover of
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
or we'll tease sections of songs. What do you guys think? Whatever. But it's about like it's a really cool kind of time. Even as a fan, it's a really cool time because it's never been easier to connect with your favorite artist and actually get some kind of interaction with them. And just
Yeah.
like, think about just some of your, times that you have posted on one of your favorite band's page or artist page, and they've, just at the very least liked your comment, and you're like, wow, boy, that sure felt great to just even be acknowledged. I got to be dead honest. Like I've been around quote unquote famous musicians or whatever. I still like it when I get a little love, so, or I see them popping in the stories. So just acknowledge your fans. It makes them feel good, it makes them feel special, and think about how it would make you feel.
Love it. So when it comes to the ways to have a mind-crushing, fantastic brand that is something, PS, that can be very profitable, not just now, but in the long term. Your brand is the thing that really gains value over the time, right? So you're not going to walk off the lot and it decreases, it gets better, okay? So, obviously embrace yourself, be authentic, have a great visual, a compelling visual, connect with your audience, engage the audience, do all the things, and let me know what you're doing with your music career. You can message me on Top Music Attorney on Instagram, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, so we, in the entertainment news space, we actually have something that's we're kind of excited to talk about it. Oh yeah, sorry guys. I'm just I need someone at the beginning of the show to remind me of the gavel. I have the gavel in front of me. It's just
I'll
lying
start
here.
reminding you. I'll start reminding you.
And I don't know what happened because the first like 2 months or something, I was using this so consistently, and then all of a sudden I forgot about it. And I'm trying to use the gavel throughout the show. So I apologize for those of you who are just here for the gavel. I know there's some of you. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta watch. We're speaking of branding. I remember the gavel.
Yeah, I'm trying to trademark the gavel bit. Anywho, all right, we're gonna talk about a thing. You let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. Let's get a thing. Let's talk about some stuff.
We are gonna talk about some stuff.
Let's talk about some stuff. This
The
will be a
gavel
fun one.
fan base.
That's good. I
I need
like
to get
that.
you guys. We have a Facebook group just for the Top Music Attorney community, which is like a lot of our students and other people in the music business. And so I need you all who are fans of the gavel. You need to post about it in the community. You need to rally the troops.
Need some gavel emojis. There's not any gavel emojis. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's right. I think when I do like a law emoji, it's always scales
There's
of
the
justice.
scales of justice, but depending on what platform that you're looking at on or what device you have, it looks different everywhere. And like sometimes it doesn't even look like even the scales of justice. Really, it just looks like a weird triangle.
All right, with that, let's get going. Sex in the City. Samantha is back. but it's not Sex in the City. We're talking about the spinoff and Just Like That, which is a name that I just have the hardest time remembering. I don't know who feels me on this, but so Kim Cattrall, she had publicly announced in 2016 that she was not playing Samantha. There's been all this beef that Orko's going to get into it. We're both fans of the Sex in the City show, but Samantha's coming back, okay, for the new season. And this is groundbreaking because she put out, she let everyone know her and Jessica Parker, right? They are just duking it out. They hate each other, and she's not going to ever come back and do anything related to the movies. She hates the movies, all the things. But now she's coming back. So what's going on?
It's pretty crazy. So I don't know, I know a lot of people kind of checked out of the show, to be honest, because it was now I preface again, I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. I've literally I'm not even exaggerating. I probably literally have gone through that series from front to back at least like 15 to 20 times. Like I've seen that show so much. It's like it's a good show. I like that show a lot. The reboot is a little hard to kind of get through, so I know a lot of people kind of checked out because it was very different. They took weird turns with all of the characters and their personality. The way that they did Steve, they just did him dirty. Mr. Big died, but he had his own.
Sorry, spoiler alert for anyone.
Spoiler alerts all over this thing. Maybe we'll edit out the spoil. But because the Mr. Big in real life was having his own legal problems and stuff, so he got cut out of a lot of the other stuff that was supposed to happen with him.
Yeah, and funny enough, what's the bicycle again? Because
Peloton.
So he's on a Peloton, and he has a heart attack. So funny enough, right after this had happened, Peloton got all this pushback because it's a show. But people are like, oh my gosh, they associated the heart attack in the show with their product. And now they're like, oh my gosh, no, no, no. And, they tried to like recover, but it was actually pretty bad for them for a second.
To be honest, that was kind of the first of their kind of many problems. They're still kind of going through it. I keep seeing that they still keep losing money over just like different stuff because some of the products were going wrong. I mean, that's a whole other topic, but they have their own.
So in any case, we'll just at least start the conversation with we're watching everything because we're just, fans of the original.
Fans of the show, get through it.
The new show, and I don't say this kind of thing often. It's really rough. It's like
I
feel bad for myself that I've been watching it. To be honest,
there's definitely good moments, and there were some episodes that were fine. It's just the way that they kind of started writing the characters.
Yes,
and I don't have any problems with the new characters that were on it. They were all fine. It was just more of just the personalities of the main characters were all weird.
Right. So let's go back.
But it ended with so we're back on Kim Cattrall. So in the last episode, spoiler alert, she kind of popped up as far as a character just being like in a text message, and so Samantha's character, and so which was weird even at the time because Kim Cattrall does all these interviews and stuff and she's just over it. She doesn't want anything to do with them. There's a lot of backstory there. So now she is going to be in the finale of season 2 as before it was a text message, and now she's going to be on a phone call because now she lives in London, and so she's going to have some kind of phone call. So I saw right away on Kim Cattrall's Instagram that the fans were just all excited because like they think that she's coming back. It's just like the end of an episode, she's doing like a scene. But the best part about the whole thing is she didn't even see like Sarah Jessica Parker or anybody from like the show. She went and filmed her scene. It was like on a little side thing. She got in, she got out.
And I'll throw in just real quick. So on the legal side, when we have specifications, right? Like writers that we write for musicians, it's when I show up to do my thing, it's separate from the contract, but we have a new contract. This is the water I need to drink. This is the alcohol that I need. This is the food. This is the team. This is the privacy. So I would be very surprised if she didn't have something exactly like that spelling out because the relationship is just so deteriorated so that, she didn't want to run into any of these people. But, they obviously convinced her. I don't know if it was the money, right? A great opportunity, but they did convince her to come back and do this.
She's always said that, that character means so much to her, which is why she didn't want to come back, which is why she didn't want to do the third movie, which kind of sparked, Sarah Jessica Parker's more vocal expression of her, not being into Kim. But like, there's always been this kind of thing, over, money, about kind of like equal pay, it's about kind of respect. But Kim Cattrall didn't like the way that they were doing Samantha's characters in the movies at all, which, to be honest, I mean, those movies were kind of, for me, I wasn't a fan of those movies. I've watched them a bunch of times, and I'm just keeping it real as a fan. I wish they would have just done one more final season and just that was it, because the show as itself was just right on the money. But yeah, so so it was just surprising at all when I read the headlines that she was even going to be a part of it. But when I saw how it was, I was like, okay, so they got her price right. She's gonna do something for the fans. Maybe it's because she's everywhere she goes. I'm sure that she is getting asked about, hey, are you going to go back to the show? So
But when it comes to conflicts between actors, right? Let's talk about that for a sec. That's very common, and the trouble can happen when you have main actors in, let's say, a TV show who suddenly hate each other, right? But now you're on a hit TV show, so neither of them are probably going to leave, and they have to work together.
yeah,
And it can create, obviously ongoing tension. It can be difficult. We even know, sometimes actors then get into relationships and then break
yeah,
up, right? We know in Dexter that was the case, right? He had a relationship with his who
play
played
his
his sister.
sister,
I'm
yeah,
like, not a sister. But anyway, I think they got married, they got divorced, and now they're acting across each other now for like years. So it can create a lot of
yeah.
difficulties. And
Jennifer, damn it.
we'll add a picture and her name
Yeah,
on
I
the
thought,
edit.
I totally thought I was gonna have it.
But in any case, so to button this up, when it comes to basically the legal side and how we navigate these situations, we contract for it. And in this case, we think that for Samantha to come back on the show and to make an appearance, there was likely some very heavy contractual, covenants in place to say these certain people will not be there. If they are, this is what's going to happen. And whatever those terms were, she agreed to them.
I was waiting.
I got it.
What's going on? No,
That wasn't my best gavel yet, but I did it. You're
yeah,
welcome.
no, I mean, I think it's gonna be cool. The segment's over, but yeah, no, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. Hopefully, this next season gets kind of a little bit better. I know they're bringing back like Aiden, a lot more, and like this whole season wasn't terrible. It was just definitely hard to kind of get into. The hardest character for me was like just what they just did with Miranda and just how she did Steve. And I get it, like in real life people change, and like, so I try to think of it like I just don't like what they did. So is it my problem? I didn't like the whole Sarah Jessica Parker podcast thing. Like everything just
Oh
seemed like
yeah,
everything was just
everything
trying to be
felt
on
forced.
trend. Yeah, everything kind of felt
Yeah.
forced. There was definitely some fun moments in there, but I'm team Kim Cattrall. Like, she's just been way too much a part of my life, from like Mannequin and Police Academy and Big Trouble in Little China, and you know she's the coolest. And I like
All
her. If
right.
you have a chance to see her interviews
Oh,
too, it's cool
oh, oh.
about it. She's pretty fun.
Well, with that being said, that Oracle, thank you very much for
Yeah.
joining us. You've
Make
been
sure
a
you hit like on the thing, on the guy, and do all the liking stuff.
All right, guys. So we're gonna watch a music video. I'm gonna get options here from Mr. Producer on what we're watching. But in the meantime, please make sure come say hi. Let me know what you're doing in your music career. What's going on with your music business? You can DM me on Top Music Attorney on Instagram and let me know what you're doing. But other than that, you want to make sure you can listen to the podcast. And so we cut up all this stuff and we cut out all this stuff that has to do with just the music business and helping you to educate yourself. So on the podcast, just for Top Music Attorney, you can search it on all the podcast places and take a listen next time you are driving. So as far as music videos, we're going to watch Something in the Way. Something in the Way is the video that has the cursey word in it. You'll notice that we took it out for the music video, and that was strategic. But in any case, that was the last video that we released. As I was saying, we have a new one that's in the works. I saw the first edit last night. It looks super great. I'm very excited for you guys to check it out. So, in any case, make sure you come say hi if you want to check out some of what I'm doing in the dark pop realm. Just search Miss Krystle on all music platforms. And oh yeah, thank you. Look at that. Just magically. I just say it and it appears. I'll be in the chat saying hi. So be sure to stick around. And I will see you guys next week, same time, 5 p.m. PST on Thursdays. Bye, guys.
I'm telling myself tonight, I'ma feel this all tonight. They're just a full like old desires. But whenever you're gone, I just need your company. Need you on your knees. I wanna feel your touch forever. What I want is what you're gonna do. Run my fingers down your back and slide. You'll be mine just one more time. Loud, the sound, there's something in the way you lay me down. Something in the way you make better. There's something in the way you make your sound. Something in the way And when you're kissing me, your lips taste of my passion. You can put your hands on me whenever you want. I just wanna be anywhere you are. I wanna feel your touch forever. What I want is what you're gonna do. Run my fingers down your